Yeah, good evening, Willinger's Wedge and Hunt Club. I'm Brian Amundsen, and here's what's going on in your world tonight. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Sean Burgundy is not going to be with us this evening. I'll tell you, it brings back memories of the days when I used to write the power rankings. Back in the days when Mike Zank and Troy Carpenter were in the league and Al Gill was still bad. Tell you what, let's go ahead and get started here. Coming in at 10th place, we actually got 3 teams. We're going to have a tie for 10th place. They all got 6 victories. It's like the devil, 666. Figure we just group them together, we can kill 3 birds with 1 stone here. Let me tell you, I'd kill myself if I had one of their records. We got Steven with the Caps Chaps and the Caps Champs, or whatever Woody decided to name. I don't know why he named himself after Phil all of a sudden. It's really a shame seeing those Fire Penguins, especially now they've lost their swagger without Sean Burgundy. The interesting thing about Sean Burgundy's team this year, the Cockfighters, is that Woody has outscored Sean Burgundy's team by 322 points, yet is still in last place. That's amazing. Anyway, coming down to number 7. Look over here. Wait, excuse me, maybe it appears Mr. Sean Burgundy is here. Of course I'm here. Are you kidding me? Do you think I would miss this? Come on, did you like that, Tamlin? That was a Brick Tamlin reference there. I tried to do the throat clearing thing. I couldn't do it as good as he does it in the movie, you know. Anyway, you think I would miss this, Mr. Amundsen? You gotta be kidding me. I just didn't want to have to deal with those first 3 teams. Anyway, let's keep going on here. Number 7, it's Al Gill. To be honest with you, I don't really want to deal with him either anyway. 44 points in week 11 allowed the Cockfighters to get the one potentially season-saving victory that they needed. Whew! I'll tell you what, looking at Al's roster for playoff time, sure, Peyton's probably going to get his 25 points, but after that, if you look up and down the lineup, I'm thinking, Al, if DeMarco Murray doesn't get 790, 800 total yards a game, you're about to get slaughtered. Coming in at number 6 is Skeet, 107 points, 2 victories over Antonio Cromartie's Children and the Dead Horse, number 1 and 2 seeds if the playoffs were to start right now. Clutch play in week 11 for the Skeeters, hanging on there. And the best player on the team this week was Rashad Jennings, some open running back who got 23 points. I'll tell you, Mr. Robinson, what the hell ever happened to Darren McFadden? And, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Mr. Robinson actually prepared a special report for us on Darren McFadden here. Well, yeah, that's right, Mr. Burgundy. My sources tell me, now granted, I'm like you, I don't pay a damn bit of attention to what's actually going on in the NFL, so I have no idea what's actually happening with Darren McFadden. But I heard through the grapevine that he actually had some blood clots in his vagina. And they tried to take it out with a C-section, but it didn't work at all. They're telling me he's going to be out for about 9 months, and then maybe a couple months after for maternity leave or something. To sum things up, Darren McFadden is the biggest pussy in the entire league. Back to you, Mr. Burgundy. That, Mr. Harkin, is why we should have never got Corningstone, and we should have gone with Mr. Amundsen all the way, but more on that later. Number 5 is Bite My Fat Ass. I tell you what, my dad's team, it's pretty clear at this point, he scores way more points than I do, week in and week out. It's pretty clear it's a more talented team than the West Coast Cockfighters. Yet, at the same time, every time I look up and down his roster, I get a little bit of a vomit taste in my mouth. I don't know if you guys do too. Anyway, 2 losses in week 11. He's still hanging on, trying to make the playoffs. He's whining about his bad luck. I'll tell you what, you know what they say, Dad? Play Al more often. Coming in at number 4, it's the Dead Horse. Hanging on to that bye right now. He got lost to Skeet in week 11. Beat Al Gill. Who didn't beat Al Gill? Big games out of Cam Newton and LaShawn McCoy, but Frank Gore and Reggie Bush are down. Will they turn it around come playoff times? I don't know. Why don't you ask somebody who actually pays attention to the NFL? Coming in at number 3 is the lucky one, Jeremy Miller. 119 points, high points in week 11. 2 big victories over Caps Chaps and Caps Assless Chaps, Queer Banger Pedersen Champs, or whatever they name themselves now. Big games from Chris Johnson and Vincent Jackson. Will these 2 continue to carry Dangling Meat's team deep into the playoffs? I'd tell you to ask somebody who pays attention to the NFL, but I don't think God himself even knows when Chris Johnson and Vincent Jackson are going to have good games or bad games. You have no idea. Coming in at number 2 is Cromartie's Children. First hiccup in a little while for these guys. Lackluster performances in week 11 out of a couple of studs. A.J. Green, Big Bagel, 0 points. Knowshon Moreno and Jimmy Graham, single-digit performances. Maybe there is a chance. I was worried about these guys being able to win a cockfight. The biggest thing I was actually worried about was the fact that they have a consistent tendency to score points. And I was thinking that I wasn't going to be able to beat them. But maybe if you're going to start doing this, Ami, maybe there is a chance. Anyway, coming in at number 1, it's the West Coast Cockfighters. Of course. Who else did you think it was going to be? last place in points, 2 points behind Phil Zrimzik now, first place in the rankings. Thank you very much. Woody, you can talk all you want about, oh, your team is really bad and has just got really lucky to be where it is, and my team's pretty good, we've had bad luck. But you know what? I don't give a shit, alright? I'm a gamer. At the end of the day, I want to be in the battle. I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty, alright? And right now, we are in the battle. And I know that you're a gamer too, and you would give anything, maybe even one of those extra chins you got, to be in the battle, but you're not. You're out of the playoffs, and the cockfighters, in all likelihood, are going to make it. So deal with that. Gallos de Pelea. Spanish 101, bitch, Woody. Learn it, alright? What are you going to do? You can't hang with us. You're not even on the same level as the West Coast cockfighters. That's going to do it for this evening, folks. Stay classy, Willingers.